Sparrows. It's another Wisdom Wednesday. Welcome to TVM. I am Valerie Miller of TVM. This very moment you have opportunity to change, and of course I am the Valerie Miller. So welcome in. Welcome in. We're talking mental health tonight in relationships. Kind of nutty, huh? Because I'll tell you what, it doesn't look like it used to look. It doesn't look as if it used to look. You used to be able to look at somebody and say, you know what, you don't look quite right. You used to be able to point somebody out of a crowd to say, you know what, I think I'm going to pass on you. What does mental health in relationships look like to you today? Hi, Renee. Hello, Martin. Welcome to the room. So tonight, yes, it's going to be a little bit juicy, and if you're looking at mental health, what does it look like to you? Could it be the person that you're with? You know, have a couple of situations? It doesn't matter. So I shake my head because I've had some run-ins with some mental situations in past relationships. So many things that you can learn from people that you associate with often, people that you're dating, people that you're married to. We're constantly evolving. Hello, Derry. Welcome to the room. Just going to give a few of the sparrows some time to come in. I've been wanting to talk about this topic for quite a while, and now I have opportunity to do so. I've had to reschedule our guest for tonight, but that doesn't change anything. The topic is still to be discussed. I've been waiting to do it. There's too many people that I communicate with often, and some of the things I hear on a day-to-day basis of what is happening in marriages, what's happening in relationships, and then talking to single individuals that are interested in dating again, coming out of divorces, all of these things. Hi, Ella. Welcome to the room, my beautiful sparrow. Honey, we have to talk. We haven't spoken in a while. What does it look like, Renee? Because crazy looks like me. Crazy could look like you. And you have to be mindful. Even with people that you've been with for quite a while. You're married to this person. I will not name any names tonight. I never do. But I am being mindful to not do that. And it's a scary thing when you're dating. It's a scary thing when you've been involved with someone for a while and then they show you a side that you've never seen before. And then you do that lean back and like, And when you do those types of things, it makes you wonder, like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Hi, Ramona. Welcome to the room. So I felt that it is a topic that's definitely worthy of conversation. Because I myself, you know, I'm dating again. Well, I haven't in a while, but I'm choosing to do so probably in the near future. Right now, I'm taking several seats back because I don't have time for it. And I know exactly what I want though. However, at the same time, I am very mindful. I am strategic. I'm careful. I'm in my prayer life, the whole nine, when it comes to these types of situations, because you don't know who you're meeting anymore. So if you're single and you're in the room, and I'll probably be asking this throughout our conversation tonight, hit the like button. Be sure to hit the like button. If you're single, hi Robin, welcome in. If you're in a relationship, hit the heart button, okay? If you're married, really go crazy on the heart button, okay? Because it's just one of those things you have to really assess. And I say this because I I was seeing someone for many years, and when I say many years, I'm talking up to 7 years to seeing somebody, and you think you know them well. However, times come about, and you have to say, oh my God, I don't know you at all. Who are you? I'm quick to ask that question. Who are you? And if you're just single today, have you been single long? Are you recently coming out of a relationship? What is it? How are you assessing, your relationship in your marriages? How are you looking at that? Joy, welcome in. Alma, welcome in. So yes, mental health today in your relationships. And I don't mean just one-sided. I mean all across the board. Because these conversations that I bring up, these topics that I bring about and for awareness to you, is because I've had these conversations. Family, friends, clients, I have these conversations. And when I start to having them a little bit often, it's time to bring the topic up in the room. So that's why I go about doing so. And of course, being a conscious lifestyle strategist is all about strategizing to having the best relationship ever. That's what it's all about. Hello, Joy. I'm so glad to see you in tonight. But it is scary. It's scary. I knew it was for me when I saw that crazy side of my ex-husband. That one day I saw that crazy side and I said, did you have a bad day at work? What is going on with you? Talk to me, and all types of thoughts went through my mind. And I would say to him, like, are you bipolar? Or, what is the deal? Let me know what's going on. But you really never know what's going on with somebody else. And you get that representative. And then that one day comes about and the person who they really are stands up. And it's shocking. It is really shocking to see, and even more so to experience. It's one thing when you're dating. However, when it's with somebody you've now married, yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, what have I done? Oh my gosh, how haven't I seen this before? However, it's about, that due diligence. Why are you with the person? What is your intention? What is the reason why you are with them? Did you see the signs and just ignored them? It's important to constantly assess your relationships. Single, just dating, engaged to be married, please get the counseling. Get the counseling. And on top of that, even when you're married, it's important to stay close, to, evolve together. Make sure you're understanding and loving each other and growing together, because that's the ultimate relationship when you decide to get married. Just be mindful to know that you're marrying the right person, because mental health today doesn't look like what we are accustomed to seeing. It's not somebody that you can walk up to on the streets and say, and you can pick them out of a crowd. Not feasible. Not today. They're the most beautiful woman, and they're the most handsome men that has some situations that goes on in their lives. And it doesn't always mean completely crazy, but it's just things that they haven't dealt with in the past, or things that they've brought into relationships that was unresolved. And we talked about that on Monday, unfinished business. So it's a number of things that can come about in relationships that could cause you to appear a little bit, not there, or cause you to blow up in times, or whatever the case may be. So, like I said, it's been too many conversations I've had. Tell me, what's your experience? How does it look? If you're married, are you assessing your relationship? Are you, pulling out the best in your mate? Are you growing well together? Is it something that you probably need to take a second look at and say, how can we do things better? Let's communicate. Let's work these things out. If you're single and you're dating out here, how are you going about assessing? What is your process when you meet somebody new? Are you asking those tough questions on the front end, getting to know them for who they are without the representative? That's what the whole point of this conversation is tonight. Hello, Don Washington, and welcome to the room. So I know, I don't think it's anybody I've seen come on thus far that I've had conversation with, but there are quite a few people that are in my circle of associations. I made it clear. I said, guys, I think it's too much. I've got to bring this up. And I've been talking about mental health for a minute. And I really wish I had my guest on with me tonight to bring out some other topics. But I have rescheduled him for later in the summer because my guests have been, pretty booked out until about September. So that is a wonderful thing. So when I have to reschedule someone, they have to fall at the end of the line. It's not like I can bring them back on the very next week. So that is one of the reasons why they're not here tonight. Things happen. However, he was unable to attend, and no big deal. I can ride this show all by myself. It is mine, So I'm prepared at all times when I have to jump on independently. Michael Anselmo, I think I got that right. I hope I did. Welcome to the room. But I tell you what, if you haven't been assessing your relationships, and I'm not talking strictly relationships as in a couple relationship. Yes, that is normally what most people think about, man, woman, whatever your relationships look like. Yes, assess those, but be sure to assess individuals that are in your family as well. Your friends, your associates, your co-workers, the people that are in your life on a day-to-day basis to where you spend quite a bit of time with them. These are the relationships that I'm seeing. Take a look at them, because these are individuals to where it would affect your life. If that one day the surprise shows up and you're not prepared for it, and 9 times out of 10 we are not. We're not prepared. So the very reason, what does your relationships look like? And I tell you what, I have really gone through the process of eliminating individuals out of my life that tend to pop up like a jack in the box, and it's surprising to me, and it's affecting my chi. So when you're affecting my energy and my life because of your behaviors, that's when I take initiative to say, you know what, let me think about this relationship. What am I adding to their life? What are they adding to my life? Is it worth keeping? Is it something I can let go? And it's it's tough for me to let individuals go out of my life, especially when they've been in my life for quite a while. But when things start to occur and I see the patterns, I see it. I can't ignore it. It's something that's continual, is happening over and over and over again. That's when I have to take several seats back and say, you know what, let me think about this. Let me think about this. Is it true that this person is interrupting my chi? Yes. Is it kind, for me to say something about it? I'm going to bring it up to you. That's a guarantee. And when that third question, is it necessary to bring it up? Because usually when you bring it up, that's going to raise the conversation to the point to where they're going to ask, why are you bringing this up? And so that's exactly what I do. And I say, because it's interrupting my chi, it's making me look at you differently, which means if I'm looking at you differently, my relationship with you is changing every single time this behavior flares. And I would like to save the relationship. However, Is this something that we can resolve? Like, where is it coming from? Why is this? Emma, you're saying, so when do you do a self-evaluation? Constantly. Alma, let me tell you, I do mirror moments. I'm not sure if you read my book or not, but I've spoken about it enough to where there are things that I do to check myself often. So when I mention mirror moments, that's what I'm talking about. That's reflection on myself. How am I in my life? What am I doing to be the best me I can be? What can I do to make myself greater? And that's an everyday question. How can I be greater today than I was yesterday? That's when you are growing and you're becoming your best self. Once you start noticing the changes in yourself, you're also taking notice of the people that you associate with. When you start, evolve and think, oh my gosh, I love who I'm becoming, because you want to reflect on things that is going to make you feel good. It's going to help you be a greater person in your relationships, not just with your spouse, but with your children, with your next door neighbor. You're being mindful of every single thing that you do. And so it's all a part of cusping, personal development. How great can I be to me first? And when you start loving on yourself and you see how great and fabulous you are, you're becoming the person you were born to be. And then somebody is in your life and they are not, and they're interrupting your chi, honey. You're irritated by it. And when you're irritated by it, you're thinking about it, you're processing in your mind, how can I address this, and still save the relationship? Well, you can go about doing that by letting them know that they have interrupted your chi. I don't feel cool with this. I don't like this. We've got to do something about this, because if not, I'm going to have to back off as your girl. I'm going to have to back up as your guy, because I'm not living my life like this. I'm not accepting this. And usually 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you why. It could be some things that's going on in their life. They're just not comfortable sharing it. However, the behavior is reflecting it. That's what's going on. Welcome to the room, Veronica Morris. Yes. And Renee Miller, you're saying, I do ask the question, check, process, if they are worth my time. Yeah, that's constant. That's constant. I remember my mom and dad saying, the older you get, the smaller your circle will become. And I was like, oh my goodness, Mom, are you serious? Oh my goodness, Daddy. Because I've always had a lot of friends. And that's one thing, to have friends when you're younger, your middle school, your high school. And then you graduate high school, you go off to college. Now you're meeting all of these additional people. You're becoming a young adult now. So you start reassessing. You have your high school friends, you have your college friends, you have your young adult friends. Everybody just can't continue to hang on. So that's where assessment also continues to be an involvement. And during those assessments, that's when you're checking for mental health situations. I promise you. You will start doing this, subconsciously. It's just going to start happening. It's important to you. And that's why I'm bringing it up. People that are not stable in your life, we cannot have that. We can have unstable in your life, because when they're unstable, it affects you. Your phone is constantly ringing. They're coming by your house, calling you at work. Hey girl, can I talk to you for a minute? Come on, man, I need to holler at you for a second. You get those people. It's the continual of the same people with the same situations constantly, over and over and over again. And then it becomes, you know, in my case, if there was a situation in Georgia before I moved back to North Carolina, you know, an ex. I'm not saying a whole lot about it because I have an open case on it. It's an open case. And it's not just Georgia. I had to open a case here in North Carolina because it continued with stalking and things like that. You have to be mindful, and you think you know someone for a period of time, but then that day comes and they reveal the true identity. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that. But mental illness looks like me, it looks like you. You really don't know who you're dealing with from day to day. I don't care how many years you've been with someone or feel like you know somebody. Eventually, the time reveals who they really are, and it's scary. It can be scary to where you're looking over your shoulder. Like, oh my gosh, don't love me that much. Mm-mm. I mean, I can love you. However, I love you enough to leave you. I'm going to leave you. That's guaranteed. Hi, Demetrius Richardson. I miss you, cousin. I haven't seen you in a while. But thank you for dropping in tonight. We're talking a little bit about mental health and what it looks like today in our relationships. You know, take several steps back. Be mindful who is in your life, who is in your friend circle, your associates, whatever you deem the people that are closest to you. Assess them often. I tell my friends all the time, you know, I'm looking out, I see you. I'm watching you out of my peripheral. You know, that means I'm paying attention to everything. I don't judge. That I don't do. However, I am paying very close attention, especially to the people that are extremely close to me. I don't care if you're family or not. Be mindful. When your emotions are a little bit like this, when they come around, you know, or you see them coming and you want to go the other way, or your phone rings and you have to ponder if you're going to answer it, it's time to assess your relationship with this individual. Because not only have I had the situation between the Georgia and North Carolina having, you know, those open cases, it's been females in my life that had been a little too close for comfort, and just responses and hanging around and those types of things, to where I'm like, oh my gosh, it's one thing to have a man, you know, on you like that, but to have a woman like that, no, that's when I start drawing the line in the sand and reassessing, like, girl, what is wrong with you? You know, I'm just your friend, right? Like, I hope you don't have any other thoughts. You know, you have to bring up conversations that are necessary sometimes, just to be sure that we're on the same page and we're on the up and up with each other. Circle of life, Alma. That's right. That circle of life. I mean, these people, you love them. You care a lot for them. And I keep my door open with friendships, with associates, people, you know, of course, with, you know, my line of work is constant conversation. And I have to point out to my clients sometimes, like, you know, you have to take ownership of that. Or I will dig a bit deeper and say, why did you do that? What was your thought process when you did that? What was the thing that pushed you over the edge to make you do that, or to make you say that? I'm going to ask them the questions and approach them in a way a family member is not going to do it. A friend is not going to do it. So I have to be brutally honest. You're paying me to help you get to a place. So when you're doing that, it's my responsibility to really unlayer everything that you're bringing to me to help you rectify and get your life together. And we have relationships that are extremely close. And we protect them, or we think we're protecting them by not saying anything. Oh, I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let that one ride this time. But you're doing a disservice to them, and you're letting them down as a friend. You're letting them down as a relative. You're letting them down as an associate to let that ride, because that's that red flag that's saying, hey, something's wrong with this. You need to say something about that. You need to say something now, because if you don't, the behavior continues, and then they'll add something else to it, and then something else to it, and then you get news about them. You know, something happened, and you say, you know what, I probably should have said something to them that day. Because if you're in that circle of life, Alma, you know, when there are situations like that, they really want you to say something, especially if they're not aware of what they're doing. Coz, hi dear. Thank you for dropping into the room tonight. What does mental health look like to you in your relationships, friends, family, mates? What does it look like? What does it look like? I know I have some singles, you know, in the room, and dating. You have options, even more so when you're just dating, and the little things pop up that you notice when you're dating somebody. It's tough to meet somebody great. It is. It's a job within itself. So when you are in the market and you are hopeful that the person you just met is a great person, they could be today. They could be. But it doesn't mean that they really are. It could be a representative. You need to learn how to differentiate between the two. And there are ways of doing that. Emma, you're saying the most of the time, most people don't want to say anything because they're afraid of losing the other person. Yes, it is. It is a scary move, and it's almost like playing chess. Do I want to make that move, or do I want to stand here? Do I want to stay in this place? And it's tough to make that call. However, at the same time, hi Joy Coiswell, welcome in. When you're approached with that, or you feel like, I don't want to lose them, the best thing you can say is, can I talk to you for a minute? You don't have to speak on it right then, presently, in that space. You don't have to do it then. What I normally do, I'll invite them out. Hey, meet me at the ice cream parlor. Hey, let's go to the mall. Hey, meet me at this place. Or, you know, can I call you tomorrow about 7 o'clock? You know, I will make it a specific time, because I don't want to do it impromptu. I've assessed it. And generally, it's not going to be immediate unless it's something that's completely outlandish. And I know I need to say something right now. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to wait. I'll give it 24 hours because I need to play it over in my mind of how I'm going to approach it. To not be hurtful, and to say it, you know, as loving as I can. Also, to be prepared if it's going to be some pushback. So always give yourself a little bit of time and make it a very comfortable and great environment before you bring it up. You know, give them some time, you know, to be able to be out of that space or what they could be feeling at the time. Because again, you never know what somebody is going through. Our behaviors reflect when we have situations going on. in our lives. We may not want to talk about it at the time. We may not want to